Hello and welcome to the second session of the important sites. That is the second part of the series, important sites in the state of Tamil Nadu. So this is our fourth session in this particular series. That is the important sites, important ecological sites series. In the first session, we have discussed about the important sites in Telangana. In the second session, we have discussed the important sites that are in Andhra Pradesh. In the third session, part one, the discussion was held on the important sites that are in the state of Tamil Nadu, and now it is the part two of that session three, that is the important sites of the state of Tamil Nadu, the remaining important sites. Now we have already discussed the tiger reserves, the elephant reserves, and the biosphere reserves. Now we will be discussing in this session, we'll be discussing about the Ramsar wetland sites, the World Heritage Sites, the Biodiversity Heritage Sites, and the Marine Protected Areas. So let's begin. Now let's discuss the World Heritage Sites. So in Tamil Nadu, we have the Natural World Heritage Site, that is the Western Ghats. But the Western Ghat, it is not only, it spreads across the 6 states in India. So it is not just limited to Tamil Nadu, but we are taking it into consideration that this World Heritage Site is in the state of Tamil Nadu. So the Western Ghats Natural World Heritage Site, it stretches along the western edge of the Deccan Plateau through the 6 Indian states, that is Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. And it runs this Western Ghats, it run parallel to the western coasts from Tapti River in the north to Kanyakumari in the south. So from Tapti River in the north in Gujarat till further down to Kanyakumari on the western coast, it runs parallel to the western coast. Now the geographical features, it is a mountain range. We all know that Western Ghats is a mountain range with elevation of 500 meters to over 2600 meters. The highest peak is the Anaimudi Peak, that is in Kerala. The major rivers that originate in this Western Ghats Natural World Heritage Sites in the Western Ghats is the Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Periyar, Bharatpuzha, and Tungabhadra River. And it includes the various valleys, waterfalls, shola grasslands, and lateritic plateaus. Now, it also divides the Konkan Malabar coast from the Deccan Plateau. So it runs parallel to the western coast, and it divides this Konkan coast and the Malabar coast, both of them which are present on the western side of India, and from the Deccan Plateau. Now, the type of vegetation. It features tropical evergreen, semi-evergreen, and moist deciduous, and also the dry deciduous type, because on one side it receives, on the coastal side, the Western Ghats receives ample rainfall, but on the other side, on the uh, east side of the Western Ghats, there is not that much rainfall. So we also observe the dry deciduous vegetation there. The high rainfall supports the dense forest and high species richness. So the western sides, it the Western Ghats, it receives heavy rainfall, and that is why the forests are really dense tropical forests. And these tropical forests, they support a high species number. They support a high population and high species. Important flora and fauna. Flora includes, so it is one of the 8 hottest hotspots. So we have the biodiversity hotspots around the world, and out of these biodiversity hotspots, there are 8 biodiversity hotspots that are the hottest. That is, the amount of the biodiversity, the magnitude of biodiversity is very immense. So the Western Ghats is one of the hottest hotspot. That is the biodiversity hotspot in the world, and it is home to more than 7,000 species of plants, with 1,500 of them are endemic. The dominant trees are the Hopia, Mesua, and Chesium, and the fauna includes the tiger, the Asian elephant, the gaur, Nilgiri tar, that is the state animal of Tamil Nadu, lion-tailed macaque, Malabar civet, and slender loris. High endemism in amphibians, reptiles, and butterflies, and the bird species. So, the bird species are very important from the examination point of view. The bird species is the Nilgiri flycatcher and the Malabar grey hornbill. Now, the significance. What is the significance of this Western Ghats? So, it was designated as a UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site in 2012, and it includes 39 serial sites, that is protected areas across these four states, that is Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Maharashtra. Also, it is critical for climatic regulation, monsoon patterns, and watershed protection. So, these are the eco services. And it also supports millions of people through water supply, agriculture, and forest resources, and is home to many tribal communities. Now, after the UNESCO Natural World Heritage Site, now discuss the heritage sites that are cultural. So, Tamil Nadu is home to two UNESCO World Heritage Sites, that is the Cultural World Heritage Sites. The first is the Great Living Chola Temples. Okay. The Great Living Chola Temples were built by the kings of the Chola Empire of the Chola dynasty, which stretched all over the South India and the neighboring islands and the Greater Chola Empire. The influence even extended to Southeast Asia. This World Heritage Site, it includes three great temples which were built in 11th and 12th century. That is the Brihadeshwara temple at Tanjavur, the Brihadeshwara temple at Gangai Konda Choleshwaram, and the Airavateshwar temple in the Darasuram. So these three are the three great temples, and together they make this great living Chola temples, this UNESCO World Heritage Site. The temple in Konda Choleshwaram was built by Rajendra I and it was completed in 11th century, that is 1035 AD. Its 53-meter Vimana is the sanctum tower at the top, has recessed corners and graceful upward curving movement with contrasting with straight and severe tower at Tanjavur. The Airavateshwara temple complex built by Raja Raja II at Darasuram features a 24-meter Vimana and a stone image of Shiva. So this Airavateshwara temple is dedicated to Lord Shiva. The temples like the Cholas, they made temples mainly they were mainly Shaivites, so the temples were mainly dedicated to Lord Shiva. The temples testified the brilliant achievements of the Chola in architecture, sculpture, painting, and bronze casting. The second site is in the Mahabalipuram, that is the group of monuments at Mahabalipuram. So this is a group of centuries, a group of monuments, and it was made by the Pallava kings. It was carved out of a rock along the Coromandel coast in the 7th and 8th centuries. So it predates the Chola temples. It is known especially for its rathas, mandapas, giant open air reliefs such as the famous descent of the Ganges. So, descent of Ganges is the most important feature that is associated with the group of monuments at the Mahabalipuram, and the temple of Revenge with thousands of sculptures and to the glory of the Lord Shiva. So, this entire group of monuments, what it consists of, it mainly consists of a main complex of Mahabalipuram. It also includes the Mukundan Nayarnar temple and the Pidari Ratha or the Valiyan Kutai Ratha. Now, we have discussed about the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, both natural as well as the cultural sites that are located in Tamil Nadu. Now, let's discuss the biodiversity heritage site. So, Tamil Nadu has one biodiversity heritage site, that is the Aritapatti Biodiversity Heritage Site. It is located in Melur Taluk in Madurai district. It is located in Madurai district, and the cluster includes Aritapatti, Meenakshipuram, and 7 surrounding villages. And it was declared Tamil Nadu's first biodiversity heritage site in November 2022, and it was declared under the Biological Diversity Act of 2002. Please note that all the protected sites, such as the national park, the tiger reserves, the elephant reserves, the wildlife sanctuaries, they are all designated or declared under the Wildlife Protection Act. But the biodiversity heritage sites are declared under the Biological Diversity Act of 2002. The geographical features include the rocky granite hillocks, valleys, and natural water bodies. Notable hills include the Arittapatti, Kalinjamalai, and Anaimalai. It contains 7 small lakes, ponds, and natural caverns, and ancient stone structures and giant rock cut beds present. So, no major river is there, so we do not have to bother that much in remembering the names of the rivers. Also, the type of vegetation, that is the dry deciduous scrub and thorn type forest. Vegetation is sparse on the hillocks but denser in valleys and around the water bodies. Important flora and fauna includes, so mainly it is a dry region, dry deciduous. It is a dry deciduous region. So mainly the flora will be xerophytic, that is dry plant species that are adapted to the drier conditions. The native species of acacia, euphorbia, and cassia are observed or are found in this particular region. Now, depending on the flora, so fauna is also related. So important habitat for raptors like the Shaheen falcon, the Lagar falcon, and the Bonelli eagle. It also supports Indian pangolin, Indian star tortoise, and various reptiles and amphibians, and is rich in species of butterflies, insects, and microbial biodiversity in water bodies. The significance is that it is Tamil Nadu's first biodiversity heritage site, and it is home to ancient rock-cut Jain monuments, Brahmi inscriptions, and dolmens dating back to the 2nd century BCE. So very ancient, like 2nd century BC, Jain monuments, the Brahmi inscriptions are found in this Harapati Biodiversity Heritage Site. And it serves as a micro hotspot for dry land biodiversity because the vegetation is the dry deciduous vegetation, that is dry deciduous scrub. It is model for community-led conservation in semi-arid landscapes. Now we discuss the marine protected areas. So Tamil Nadu, we know, is a coastal region, so it has 4 marine protected areas. The first of them is the Dugong Conservation Reserve, located in the Palk Bay of the coast of Tamil Nadu between Rameshwaram and Manamelikudi. Manamelkudi. It spread over 500 square kilometers in the Gulf of Mannar region. So it is located in Palk Bay. Okay, and this is declared as India's first dugong conservation reserve in 2022. And dugong, we know that is very important from examination point of view. It has been asked by UPSC earlier before, and the other state commissions might also ask questions based on the dugong. Geographical features include, it comprises of shallow coastal waters, seagrass meadows, mudflats, and small islets, and lies within the larger Gulf of Mannar marine ecosystem. So there is a larger Gulf of Mannar marine ecosystem, that is also the Gulf of Mannar Marine Biosphere Reserve. Okay, adjoining this Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve. Area is influenced by the tidal action and is rich in marine biodiversity. And dugong, we know, is a herbivore mammal, is a marine mammal. The type of vegetation, dense seagrass meadows, and the flora includes the underwater seagrass beds, also support some mangrove species along the coast. So, in the seawater, there is this underwater seagrass, and on the coastal region, there is the mangrove forest, mangrove species. The fauna, that is the dugong, is the only herbivore marine mammal found in the Indian waters. Other marine life, it also includes the sea turtles, sea horses, pipefish, dolphins, and crustaceans. and it is an important breeding ground for many different marine fishes. The significance is that it is the first and only dugong conservation reserve in India, not only in Tamil Nadu, but it is the first and the only dugong conservation reserve in India. And dugongs, we know, are listed vulnerable under IUCN Red List and protected in Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. It supports seagrass ecosystem conservation and it aims to promote community-based conservation. It enhances India's commitment to marine species protection under the Conservation of Migratory Species and the CBD, that is the Convention on Biological Diversity. So, Convention on Migratory Species (CMS) and Convention on Biological Diversity, that is CBD, it enhances India's commitment to marine species protection, and it is a critical step towards the National Dugong Recovery Program. So, dugong we know is a vulnerable species, and we are what we aim to revive or to for the dugong population to recover. The second marine protected area is the Point Calimere Wildlife Sanctuary. It is situated in the Nagapattinam district, Tamil Nadu, near Kodiakarai, that is the Point Calimere Peninsula. So this is the Point Calimere, and this wildlife sanctuary is located in Point Calimere. The geographical features include it is a coastal sanctuary with a mix of mudflat, salt pan, mangroves. So if it is coastal, then there will be mangroves, there will be mudflats, salt pans, and the shallow wetlands. And it includes the Cape Calimere, the southernmost tip of the Coromandel coast. It is formed by deltaic deposition of the Kaveri river system and is surrounded by Muthupet mangroves and the tidal estuaries. So, 2 points to note here that it is formed by deltaic deposition from the river Kaveri, and the Muthupet mangroves surround this particular Point Calimere Wildlife Sanctuary. The type of vegetation, tropical dry evergreen forests, and it also includes the mangroves, the swamps, and the coastal salt marshes and grasslands. The vegetation, that is, because it is like a mangrove and highly salt marshes are there, salt pans are there, so the vegetation, it is tolerant to high amount of salt. So vegetation is salt and drought tolerant. Now, the important flora and fauna includes the dry evergreen trees, the mangroves, and the salt-tolerant grasses. The fauna includes the blackbuck, which is the flagship species, the spotted deer, and wild boar. The bird population that or the uh, bird diversity in the region, there is greater flamingo, spoonbill, painted stork, Eurasian curlew, and pied avocat. The occasional sightings of the olive ridley turtles is also seen along the India's eastern coast is frequently visited by the olive ridley turtles for nesting, for their mass nesting, that is Arivada. And this Point Calimere Wildlife Sanctuary, it is situated here. This Point Calimere Wildlife Sanctuary, it also forms an important migratory route. It lies on the migratory routes on the East Asian Oscillation Flyway. Okay, so the migratory birds, they stop here, they halt it. It forms a part of the this Point Calimere Wildlife Sanctuary. It is an important bird nesting area also, and it forms an important halt, or it forms an important part of the East Asian Oscillation Flyway. The significance includes it was notified in 1967 and is among the oldest wildlife sanctuaries in Tamil Nadu, recognized as part of the Ramsar wetland site, that is the Point Calimere Wildlife and Bird Sanctuary in 2002. So it is also a Ramsar site. In total, Tamil Nadu has 20 Ramsar sites. So, um, so for any candidate, for any aspirant, it becomes really difficult to remember all the Ramsar sites that are present in all the states in India. So, but some important Ramsar sites, okay, like this Point Calumet Wildlife Sanctuary should be kept in mind. And it is one of the last refuges of the tropical dry evergreen forest biome, and it is crucial wintering ground for over 100 species of migratory water birds because it lies on the migratory route, that is East Asian or Australasian flyway. It supports livelihood of local communities because of ecotourism, and it is important for coastal biodiversity, climate buffering, and wetland ecosystem services. So these are all the ecosystem services. Now, then we have the Pulicat Lake Bird Sanctuary. It is located here, the Pulicat Lake Bird Sanctuary. It spans the border of Tamil Nadu, Tiruvallur district, and the Andhra Pradesh, that is Nellore district. So this Pulicat Lake, it is shared, it is spread among between two states, that is Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, and is located along the Coromandel coast, about 60 kilometers north of Chennai. It encompasses a major portion of the Pulicat Lake. That is, Pulicat Lake, we know, is India's second brackish water lagoon after the Lake Chilika. This we have already discussed when we were discussing the important sites in Andhra Pradesh. Now, the geographical features of this Pulicat Lake Bird Sanctuary includes a shallow brackish lagoon, that is the Pulicat Lake, and this Pulicat Lake is separated from Bay of Bengal by by the island of the Shri Harikota Barrier Island. Okay, this is the Bay of Bengal. So from the Bay of Bengal, this Pulicat Lake is separated by a barrier island, that is the Sri Harikota Island, that is located in Andhra Pradesh. And on the Sri Harikota Island, we have the Satish Dhawan Space Center, from which are ISRO's satellites, and that acts as the launch site for the ISRO. So all our space missions are sent from the Satish Dhawan Space Center, that is located on the Sri Harikota Island. The lake receives water from Kalangi, Arani, and Swarnamukhi rivers, and it is surrounded by mudflats, sandbars, tidal flats, and salt marshes. It is adjacent to the Satish Dhawan Space Center ISRO at Sri Harikota. Now, the type of vegetation, because it is a brackish water lagoon, so it is dominated by coastal as well as wetland vegetation, including mangroves, salt-tolerant grasses, and aquatic plants. Also, the marshy areas support algae, reeds, and floating vegetation. The important flora and fauna includes the mangrove species and the aquatic vegetation, and it is noted for the large flocks of greater flamingos, that is the flagship species of this bird sanctuary. And other species include the pelicans, painted storks, spoonbills, herons, egrets, avocets, terns, and sandpipers. Because it is mainly, this Pulicat Lake is a bird sanctuary and is also a marine protected area. So most of the fauna that is found here is of predominated by birds. So over 100 species of migratory and resident birds visit annually. The significance being it was declared a bird sanctuary under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 and recognized as a key site along the East Asian Australasian flyway. Just like the Point Calumet, which was here, this Pulicat Lake, both of them, they form an important path or a key site along the East Asian Australasian flyway for the migratory species of birds. And it is vital for wetland conservation, fisheries, bird biodiversity, and it provides livelihood support for fishing communities around the lagoon as well. And but just like the other wetland areas, it faces ecological threats from urbanization, siltation, illegal fishing, and pollution, and it requires the urgent conservation measures. Now, the next marine protected area is the Gulf of Mannar Marine National Park, that also is a part of Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve. So, it is located along the southeastern coast of Tamil Nadu within the Ramanathapuram and Tuticorin districts. It lies in the Gulf of Mannar between Rameshwaram and Tuticorin and forms the core zone of the Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve. So, we have the larger Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve, and this Gulf of Mannar Marine National Park forms the core zone. Okay, so for any biosphere reserve, we have the core zone and the transition zone, and then the buffer zone. So, this national park, the Gulf of Mannar Marine National Park, forms the core zone of the Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve. Now, the geographical features includes it comprises of 21 coral-rich islands, seagrass beds, lagoons, estuaries, mangroves, and it stretch over 560 square kilometer of marine area, and it is separated from Sri Lanka by Gulf of Mannar. The type of vegetation, it is a marine national park, so rich in marine and coastal vegetation, that is mangrove, seagrass meadows, coral reefs, algal beds. There are over 500 species of seaweeds, mangroves, and seagrass systems are also there. The marine mammals, especially the dugong, which is the flagship species, the dolphins are there, the whales are there, the porpoises are there. Marine reptiles includes the green turtles, the olive ridley, hawksbill, and leatherback turtles. So there are marine mammals as well as marine reptiles. Then there are variety of fishes, the diversity of fishes, the rich coral diversity, as well as it is home to crustaceans, mollusks, and echinoderms. Now, the significance, it was declared a marine national park in 1986. It is India's first marine national park. The Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve is India's first marine biosphere reserve. So, the Marine National Park, this Gulf of Mannar Marine National Park is India's first marine national park. It forms the core zone of the Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve, which was notified in 1989. It is one of the richest coastal and marine biodiversity hotspots in India and is crucial for conservation of endangered dugongs, corals, and seagrass ecosystems. It also acts as a natural barrier against coastal erosions and cyclones because of the presence of mangroves. Okay, and it is recognized for the blue carbon potential and ecosystem services. Now, moving on to discussing the national parks. So, the important national park is the Gundi National Park, that is in Chennai. Okay, this Gundi National Park is situated in Chennai, is one of the smallest national parks in India and only one within a metropolitan city. So it is the one of the smallest national park in India, and it is such a small national park that it is situated only inside a metropolitan city. Okay, it is not sharing its area with any of the other cities in the nearby region. It lies adjacent to the governor's residence, that is the Raj Bhavan and IIT Madras campus, and it was originally a part of the Guindy Lodge estate. Geographical features, a very small area, around 2.7 square kilometer. It is characterized by dry tropical evergreen forest and no major rivers are present. Okay. So for the national parks or the tiger reserve or all these protected areas, so two things are very important. First, we have to know if any rivers are passing through or if any rivers are making any boundaries with that particular protected area. And secondly, we also have to note that if any important tribal groups or tribes are living in that particular region. But since it is an urban national park located in the Chennai only, so no major rivers are passing through it. The type of vegetation, it is one of the last remaining patches of the tropical dry evergreen forest in Tamil Nadu, and urban forestry initiatives have added to the floral diversity. The important flora and fauna includes over 350 species of plants including neems, tamarind, acacia, and eucalyptus. Eucalyptus, sorry, um, and many medicinal herbs. The fauna includes the blackbuck, which is the flagship species, the spotted deer, Indian civet, jackal, monitor lizard, and Indian star tortoise. The bird species include the peafowl, the parakeets, quails, owls, and woodpeckers. and it supports the urban wildlife conservation within the city limits. And it also acts like a green lung to the city of Chennai. So these urban forests are very important for maintaining the temperature, the climate of the city uh, that it is in. The significance is that it was notified as a national park in 1978 and is one of the few urban national parks in India, making it crucial for urban biodiversity and education. It serves as the green lung for Chennai and houses the Gwindi Snake Park, the children's park, promoting environmental awareness. It provides a rare example of coexistence between urban infrastructure and natural ecosystem. So this you can write in as your case study. That is, it is an example of coexistence between the urban infrastructure, the urban landscape, and the natural ecosystem or the natural landscape. Now, finally, we have we have covered the national parks, we have covered the marine protected areas, we have covered the biosphere reserve, we have covered the heritage sites, the biodiversity heritage sites, we have covered the tiger reserves, the elephant reserves. Finally, we have come to the Ramsar sites. Now we know that there are 20 Ramsar sites in the state of Tamil Nadu. Okay, so it is like very difficult for us to remember all these 20 sites, but the important ones like the Point Calimere Wildlife and Bird Sanctuary, the Pulicat Lake, okay, and the Vellore Bird Sanctuary. Then we have the Gulf of Mannar Marine Biosphere Reserve. We have the Vuduvur Bird Sanctuary. We have the Chitrangudi Bird Sanctuary. So all the bird sanctuaries, at least, we should try to remember like what type of water body is there. So Point Calimere, we know it is a coastal wetland. Pulicat Lake, we know is a brackish water lagoon. In Gulf of Mannar, we know that it is a coastal marine wetland. And the Vellore Bird Sanctuary is a freshwater wetland. Okay. So this is the list of the 20 important Ramsar sites that are in the state of Tamil Nadu. So in the next session, we will be discussing the important sites in the state of Kerala. So till then,